Hi everybody and welcome on viceworkshop.com. I am Giovanni Perin and today I would like to talk to you about different ways to use a metronome. I'm really concerned about rhythmic feelings, especially because I am a jazz musician. Of course, I play other styles. I used to play classical music, I played Latin music, I played pop music and rock music. And what I discovered is that without rhythm, there's no music. If you think about it, the notes need a rhythm in order to be played, because the rhythm is the space where the notes are organized actually. So no rhythm, no sound. That's why I really think that is important to study with the metronome in your daily routine. Of course, some one of you may say that jazz music and in other ways, other styles of music need to be organic. That means that you will not play as a machine. You will not follow a machine. So unless you wanna produce some pop music or play some particular rock music that needs a click to be played, or unless you wanna quantize everything, and quantizing means to reduce everything to a straight grid. So unless you want to do that, you don't really need to start with a metronome, because you will lose the flow of the music. But honestly, I think that the reality is something else. I think that if you don't practice with the metronome, you don't know how to play in the time or behind the time or on top of the time. So that's why, in my humble opinion, it's important to really master your playing with the metronome in order to be able to develop your inner metronome, which is something that every good musician has. So I remember seeing Dave Freeman playing alone, no comping, no drummers, no bass line, and everything was really clear, and I could in fact hear a drummer behind him. And a good way to develop this feeling is to actually think that there's a drummer that is playing with you, or a bass player that is playing with you when you play a solo, for example. Of course, it depends on the musical style you're playing in, but every music style needs to have a pulse. So how do we develop this pulse, and how do we consciously not be related to the pulse is something that we need to study, and the only way to do it is to use a metronome. Of course, the first thing you need to know is to play within the metronome. So you can use a click, you can use your cell phone. There are many great apps for Android or iOS that are free, and they already have everything you need. And in fact, I don't use any drum machine or any crazy thing. I just use a metronome that keep me the time straightforward. So that's the first exercise you should do, and this is not easy. For example, when you comp, just try to comp on every one of the bar, You say, this is pretty easy. And I tell you, no, it's not. Because if you don't know the chord progression right, you will delay the chord because you don't remember the chord. So once you play it, it's already, for example, the second beat of the bar or the third beat of the bar, or you will skip the chord. So that's the first exercise I suggest you to do. Play the comping on the one, and it will be not easy. The second exercise is an exercise that I call the hum exercise, because it's really like a meditation on the rhythm. And I use it also when I want to calm down. Let's say I'm a bit anxious because I have concerts. I used to do it when I was in the university, and in fact, a drummer told me this exercise. So the exercise is pretty simple, but it's not easy. You may have noticed that something that is simple may not be easy. So the exercise is this. Put the metronome really, really slow, like 10 beat per minute or 20 beat per minute, and just play quarter notes. But you need to be with the metronome, not behind, not laying back. You have to hit the note. You can choose one note, hit the note with him. This will develop your rhythmic feeling because you will be really strong. And because of the fact that everything is really large, you will need to be really precise. And you will discover that counting the subdivision will be a great option for you in order to know where you are. And this is the second thing. Counting the subdivision is a great topic, especially when you play ballads. Try to count, for example, the 8th notes, or if you are playing more like a 12/8 kind of ballad, try to count the triplets, right? The 8th note triplets that form the 12/8. Another good exercise is to play with the metronome in 2 and 4, because the metronome will imitate the hi-hat sound. And this is a great exercise once you get it, in order to feel as you were playing with a drummer. I know Ed Simon, for example, he's actually playing the vibes while playing with his left feet the hi-hat, and the result is really stunning. Other great exercises that are more tricky are to put the metronome once per bar. So you can either put the metronome on the one of every bar, or you can choose whatever beat you like on the 4, for example. It's really tricky, this one. Or you can set the metronome on the upbeats. Those are ideas that I've been using through the years in order to develop my rhythmic feeling, because I think that it's really, really important to have a strong rhythmic feeling. I actually think that the rhythmic feeling is more important than your licks, than your lines. Because if you have great lines, but they are displaced in wrong places of the bar, then you will lose the power of the lick or of the line. That may be a Charlie Parker line or a Milt Jackson line. Another exercise that I suggest you to practice is related to where do we play. Do we play on top of the rhythm? Do we play laid back? do we play behind the rhythm? So a little bit before the rhythm. There are different philosophies about it. For example, if you listen to Dexter Gordon, he was really laid back. Sometimes it would be like one beat behind, and other players, like white players like Lee Konitz, maybe would be a little bit on the beat, more on the beat. Or Anthony Williams, for example, it was really on top of the beat, maybe a bit before the beat actually. So it was pushing a lot the band, and this is really important to have this connection with the beat in order to know where you are and to develop your inside rhythm and the groove, of course. I remember when I was playing with Latin guys, they were always on top of the beat. And they say, Giovanni, you play great, but you are always too laid back. So try to be on the beat, even a little bit before the beat, because you will push a bit more. So those are my suggestions. I hope they will work for you as they worked for me. Try to really incorporate the metronome in your daily routine because it will help you a lot. And don't believe to the one that says, oh, you don't need the metronome, you need to know it by yourself. Yes, of course, but this is something that you can master, while you're playing with the metronome. Then you will just switch off the metronome and you will try to record yourself and listen back to you and say, okay, today my rhythm is good, or today my rhythm sucks, I need to work on it. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see each other next month with another Vibes Workshop lesson. Bye bye.